The honourable member for Mégantic-L'Érable. Mr. Speaker, yesterday in question period I raised a major issue facing Canadians. The endless delays in getting service from the federal government. Passport, employment insurance, revenue agency, immigration, it's all going wrong. As usual, the Prime Minister avoided answering the question, turning his back on thousands of citizens who are waiting, and are still waiting, Mr. Speaker. There is a solution. Get federal employees back to work in their offices, like most Canadian businesses. When will the Prime Minister make Services Canada meaningful again? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. Thank you for the question, Mr. Speaker. Our government fully understands the importance of serving Canadians, especially now that our economy is rebounding so strongly. I must highlight that I don't fully agree with the MP across the way with the idea that everything is going badly in Canada. The truth of the matter is that according to the IMF, we have the most rapid G7 economic growth this year and next year. Thanks to the work of Canadians, I'd like to thank them for that. The Honourable Member for Mégantic-L'Érable. When the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance doesn't take an interest in the services proffered by her own government, this is very, very worrying. Public servants themselves are asking Canadians to call their MPs' offices in order to get basic services, Mr. Speaker. We knew that the first 10-year passports were due to expire in 2022 before the pandemic. Services Canada processed 3 million passports a year. We are just getting back to normal now, and federal employees themselves are caught off guard because there was no planning from this Liberal government, Mr. Speaker. Misplaced documents, overwhelmed phone systems. The list of excuses is endless. Can the Prime Minister give us a bit of hope and tell us when federal employees will be back in their offices serving citizens? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, to start off, I would like to thank the public servants for the service that they offer to Canadians. They do work throughout the country. I travelled throughout the country yesterday. I thanked Department of Finance officials who do excellent work, and I know that public servants from coast to coast to coast work diligently. And I think that everyone in this House must acknowledge the efforts that they put forward. The Honourable Member for Mégantic-L'Érable. Mr. Speaker, what the federal employees want is to be supported by their government. What federal staff want is to serve Canadians, Mr. Speaker. What federal public servants want is to be proud of their work at the end of the day because they were given the tools necessary to deliver services that Canadians expect of them. What this government does is improvise and make it that federal employees and public servants cannot do their jobs. Simple question. Will the Prime Minister finally ask federal public servants to go back to the office to serve Canadians? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, I would like to highlight once again how we on this side of the House are truly proud of our public service and of all the federal government's workers who do exceptional work and who have done exceptional work during the entirety of the pandemic. And I would like to ensure public service workers and public servants that we are here to help them out by doing what they would like to do, which is helping Canadians.
Alton Hills.
Mr. Speaker, Line 5 is being threatened yet again with another shutdown through an application filed in U.S. federal court. This would cut off gasoline, diesel, propane, and jet fuel supplies to Ontario and Quebec. So has the Prime Minister picked up the phone and talked to President Biden to get this matter resolved, or will he have to invoke the 1977 treaty just to talk to the White House about this matter, as he had to do last year when Governor Whitmer of Michigan threatened to shut down the same pipeline?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the member opposite for the question because it gives me the opportunity to assure Canadians that our government absolutely understands the importance of Line 5. We understand today more than ever how important energy security is, and I want to assure Canadians our government is always ready to stand up for Canada's rights, including our treaty rights in our relationship with the United States. We have a constant conversation about energy security with the U.S. I spoke to Secretary Yellen just 2 weeks ago on this issue.
Member for Wellington-Halton Hills.
Mr. Speaker, the government says Line 5 is important to the government. It supplies over almost half of Ontario and Quebec's energy needs. So if it's so important, why isn't the government opposing the application made in U.S. federal court to shut down this pipeline?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians can have no doubt whatsoever about our government's preparedness and our government's ability to stand up for the Canadian economy and for Canada's treaty rights, including in our relationship with the United States. We absolutely understand the importance of Line 5. We understand the importance of energy security. I spoke with Secretary Yellen just 2 weeks ago and talked about energy security and pointed out to her how important our relationship is to them.